to you by AT&T 5G. The Miami Heat fans so excited and ready, especially after their team's performance in Game 1. Another victory at home, keeping their undefeated streak at FTX Arena in these playoffs alive. For the Heat, what will Jimmy Butler do for an encore?
It's 8:41. There are still tons of people on the court.
Meanwhile, Jason Tatum
I don't know
also
what
has been
the
extraordinary
F.
in this postseason, but it all fell apart in the third quarter in Game 1 for Tatum.
I don't know why the F.
However, some key Celtics return.
This game hasn't started yet.
How will Boston respond? Can the Heat hold their home court again and take a 2-0 lead? Or will the Celtics bounce back like they've done all season? Tip-off Eastern Conference Finals Game 2 is next.
Okay, then it'll go to ads.
NBA Eastern Conference Finals on ESPN is presented by AT&T 5G.
I suppose I should keep the thing running.
And in part by Google Pixel, the official fan phone of the NBA.
The NBA is a joke. The NBA is a joke because of the refs. No idea if that's too loud. I'll turn it a bit lower. Get the AC on. Try to reduce that hum. They really shove the food into our faces, don't they? Fries, you can see the, I go for fake chicken, which looks the same as real chicken. Going by the ads, white and black people are really close. They get along so well. They even get married. There's already an ad before. White mom, black dad, or the other way around. I'm not against that. There was a really good Cassavetes movie. Might have been his first. Made as a college student. McLuhan spoke about the ads. How they're often made better. Another white and black person hugging. But it's for an insurance company, a corporation. I was anti-segregation before this fake crap co-opted the truth, the ideas. I know that most people are conditioned because I remember what it was like to be conditioned, to not be free, to not be in the moment. Krishnamurti nailed it. There's thinking and there's not thinking. There's the moment and then there is memory. Ime Udoka vindicated for wearing the mask. I wear a mask. I'm not stupid. I don't wear a mask all the time.
Shout out to my daughter. Shout out to my son.
Rob Williams. So many tattoos.
Lots of shutouts as we get ready.
All the announcers picked Boston. There are still a million people on the court just lounging around. Refs. Well, yeah, they're supposed to be there, but people in suits. Al Horford playing with the net, pulling down on it. The Celtics are huge. compared to Miami, and now Boston has all their players except for Derek White. He's having a baby, so they let him off. They let him have the night off. I don't mind that. It was miserable that the other game one was a scheduled loss. Playoffs used to mean, everything used to mean, or have the illusion of meaning. I mean, it did mean something. It was different back then. Now it's still entertainment back in the day. The Bird versus Johnson for the most newest, oldest stuff would probably be Bird and Magic Johnson. And I'm going to put this effer on big screen. Doesn't get that much bigger for me to see. Right, there's Rob Williams. And tip one by Miami. So this will constitute a replay. People banging around, kicks being set. Out to the corner, PJ Tucker for wide open three, swish. Tatum bringing the ball up. Smart looks a little ginger. Rob Williams sets the pick up high for Tatum. Back to Smart. Pops immediately for three. Quank. The heck was that? Pick set. What's his face? To what's his face? Tucker again with a 2 for 2. The stupid announcer. 2 for 2. We didn't know he was 2 for 2. Smart now with the ball. It's 5-0 Miami. Horford in the corner. Tatum in the corner. Threes. Smart again. Swings it way out to Brown for three. Swish. Jaylen Brown. 5-3. This is going to be a lot easier for Boston in a way. It's more of a real game than having to play a giant like Giannis. And Lopez was another giant. Adebayo misses. Smart. They're already in the rebound and into the... the lob to Rob Williams for the easy 2, and we're tied. Bye-bye, big early lead. What's that guy's name? I don't really know. Vincent? Whoa, the arms are flailing. Adebayo with Horford. They're already going at it. Smart looks healthy. The other guy, Rob Williams, he's healthy. He's coming back, getting rid of the rust. He had like the outer layer of the meniscus or whatever it is. Got that chopped off. So now he's pain-free. Jaylen Brown pushing it up quick. Al in the corner. Jaylen. Now he's limping. What the heck was that? Jaylen Brown goes into no man's land and looked like an idiot. That's when I start thinking, is that guy on drugs? But it's usually they just plain stupid. Tucker. Rebound. Butler off of PJ Tucker. Tucker got his arse blocked. I think that was Rob Williams. It was. Brown back to Smart at the top of the key. The three. Bad pass. Smart. Brown with a good recovery over to Horford. Smacked. No call. Butler. Off of Miami. Bad call. That was off of Miami, but I think it was off of Miami. Horford thinks what I think too. But the refs are incompetent. There are people always making excuses for the refs. It's such a tough game to cover. That's why I'm able to do right here. No replay. The guy hits a 3, so that's like a 5-point turnaround or something. Or potentially that type of thing. So instead of the turnover in Miami, they keep the ball and then they score. That's awesome. That's so great. Horford, corner three, swish. Al Horford, swish. Couple threes by Boston were swishes so far. 10-8 Miami. So yeah, Miami looks like Pee Wee League compared to the Bucks. They're healthier though than the Bucks. They got a deeper rotation type of thing going. Although I heard they have some injuries, hamstrings. Wow, Marcus Smart. Again, Smart trying to be what he isn't. He's got to let that flow. He does. Marcus Smart forces his offense. Sometimes it works, but otherwise, great. 15-8 Miami, up 7 because Marcus Smart. They lost a game, I think, against the Bucks. Marcus Smart tried to be the hero ball. It was ridiculous. Be a hero on defense, sure, that's your bread and butter, but not on offense. There's that hot chick from AT&T. She's so hot because she's plain looking, if that makes any sense. And the Chad. She's not really a Stacy, so she's like, maybe this Chad will ask me for a date even though I'm a lowly. She's not really low. She's up there with Flo for Flo from the. I love Flo. She's an incredible comic actress doing ads. You know who I'm talking about, Flo. Damn, there's so much going on in these ads. So I'm not conditioned. I don't watch TV. I don't watch ads really until I have to. I'm only watching this because I got this live stream thing going on. I don't know if they let me live stream. That's my next move. If they let me live stream, I think you need 1,000 subscribers, but maybe they changed that. I'm not sure. YouTube has certainly changed over time. That guy sounds like the singer. He's like, you'll never. Oh no, not Lou Rawls. Who's that guy? You're my everything. I did a cover of that song. You're my everything. It's a Buick. I mean, this is demented. I can see the son. He's like, it's a Buick. It's not an Alexa, Dad. It's like, give me a effing break. How? That's not demented. That's not horrific for an ad. Some guy lounging about with a alcohol on some type of luge in a like a mansion. So it's like a rich black guy. We won't think about. I'm not saying a rich white guy, but everyone's. It's like the Huxtable syndrome. It's like everyone. But then the fake woke will be like, you don't think black people can be rich and famous and be doctors and it's really smart? It's like, F you. I know all about freaking smart black people from the past. What's that? I was going to say Buster Douglas, but I meant Frederick Douglass. The metaverse. That thing, I tried Friends into it or something, and it's demented, but the person's a friend, so I can't. I try to tell this person, like, come on, that's Zuckerberg, and it's just demented. Why can't we be in? Well, I didn't say any more than that. You can do. Someone's into the metaverse, but I stopped the line when they're trying to pressure me into doing it also. I looked, it's fairly neat. It's pretty bizarre. It's like a video game within your head. I don't know how they pull that off. I bet it can't be that good for the eyesight. If the Celtics can settle down, they'll win this. They should win it rather easily. The Celtics should be able to bully them like the Bucks bullied people last year, and the Celtics are just finesse, but big finesse. Except for Smart, who, there he goes again. Why is he doing that? What did it? Isn't he going to be a little rusty? And he's limping. What? Why is he taking all the shots? Why is Smart so stupid on offense? Why can't he just go for assists and then the other guy hits a three? That's Marcus Smart, who's not aware that he's being an ass idiot on offense. Yeah, Jaylen Brown passes it back to Smart. Yeah, let's have Marcus Smart take 40 shots. Jaylen Brown from deep and it's swish. So if they just stop having Marcus Smart taking shots, we might win. I'm involved. Vincent, I gotta root for him a little bit because he's a little guy. I root for the little guys. Although he's probably 6'3", calling some guy 6'3" a little guy. What? PJ Tucker's like 58 years old. Makes Horford look like he's 27.
Tucker's able to box him out. Use that lower body strength to push him away. Clear contact going to the line.
Damn. So the Celtics, so far, are having a little bit of trouble. But I'm not worried yet. There's 6:41 left in the first. Misses the first free throw. You know it's PJ Tucker because he's the only guy who looks out of place. Like he's like the dad. Somehow the dad's playing with his son and his son's friends or something. Although Horford's starting to get a little nil pattern baldness. So Tucker and Horford are the senior elders. He missed both. Horford grabs the rebound, steals it off of out of Jaylen Brown's hands. That was pretty funny. Smart wanted to shoot it, but even he's... Oh, Brown again, falling down like he's a drug addict. Tatum with a swish. The Celtics, the best players on the Celtics are not even touching the rim at all on those bombs. Vincent... Miami does not look scary at all. Butler misses. Tatum the rebound. Smart. Tatum again. Oh, looped into... Williams, you got to dunk that. Tatum got it down low to Williams. The Celtics have such an edge. PJ Tucker misses. Got his rebound and miss. And then a foul on PJ Tucker. He's an old guy. He's going to be gassed. Even if he plays well for an old guy, same with Horford. They're going to get gassed. They're going to get tired. I wish I'd hair like Rob Williams. The dreadlocks. I think they look pretty cool. Now, this guy Grant Williams needs to... I think he talks too much for someone who's had a few great games. And he's a lot better than everyone thought he would be. But he's still got a lot to prove, this Grant Williams guy. But I like his confidence. Oh, and there he is with a layup. Now Grant Williams isn't going to miss a layup like what Rob Williams did, or Smart will clank it. So let's see. Here we go. Miami. It's 18-15. Wide open three. Miami missed. Rebound Butler. Strus for three. Misses. Another rebound for Miami. I don't know why the Celtics don't get more rebounds. Oh, he fell and then he slid out of bounds. A lot of condensation on the floor. So Miami is not a powerhouse, and the Celtics are potentially the number one defense, at least for the second half of the year. Here comes Tatum. It's remarkable. Tatum did improve so much at dribbling. Over to Smart for a three. Why is Smart shooting so much? I don't understand that. Vincent from way out. Brown barely got the rebound. The Celtics do not look fundamental at getting rebounds. Wow, Tatum. Offensive foul. I don't know about that. I'd have to see the replay. There's like these hot women right behind the Celtics bench. Oh yeah, Tatum with that direct elbow into the chin. But Butler sort of, well, I guess, yeah, Tatum's kind of slow motion kind of player, like a bird. Tatum's like bird, kind of deliberate. So it didn't have to be that. Guy didn't have to be set. Miami just hit a three in the foul. This could be wake me up in the fourth quarter type of game. Oh, it wasn't a three, sorry. Takes a contact, more like a flop. Yeah, Brown touched him, graced him in the hip, and then the guy falls like he got punched. That was a total flop. That play was never getting called during Bucks Boston. Smart with I'm not happy with Smart on offense. Brown with another swish three and that was a couple feet back from that 3-point line in the middle, in the center of it. It wasn't a corner freebie three. Who's this guy, Harrow? That's the kind of player that scares me. Smart. I love Smart. He gets the steal. And then damn, the guy clobbered him. How about a flagrant on that? Maybe I'm saying things. I guess I was saying. Oh, it was a clean block, and Smart just fell. How can Smart be so idiotic he doesn't know the guy's right there? And he had another. How is Smart so low IQ on offense? I don't understand why he never. He had so much potential for an offensive player. Smart did. And he still does, but he's just too inconsistent to count on him for offense, game in, game out. If he could just be a little more humble and be more consistent on offense with assists and just always making the right play and no turnovers. Vincent misses. Grant Williams with a good job boxing out Adebayo. Here comes Jaylen Brown. Top of the key. Goes right through them. Peyton Pritchard for three. And that was a swish. The Celtics look like they can't. Oh, and the Celtics are winning. So this is where Miami, they have 21 points with under 3 minutes to go. They need to score 30 points a quarter, and that might not be possible against Boston. The Celtics are probably an easy 110, 120 points a game. Maybe 110. I haven't looked at the stats. Here we go with more ads. So while I'm a free spirit right now in the moment, nearly everyone else is like in a catatonic state watching ads as if they mean something. Or not that they mean something. It's how McLuhan spoke about the medium is the message. Content doesn't even matter. It's a weird ad for this garden thing. Images are flashing. It's really intrusive and it's offensive and it can't be good for people with epilepsy. Or fast food ads.
I think she liked it. Your choice of sandwich plus all this for just $5 is from Celtics. Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's Big Day.
They shove the food at Reese's. What's the big deal about food? It's overrated. The stuff, the taste is an experience. It's momentary. Taste is good. Taste is amazing. But it goes into your stomach, it goes into your body, and then you have to deal with that. So you eat that big bag of Doritos and it tastes pretty good. I'm satisfied just thinking about the memory. I don't need that crap anymore. The memory's enough. And the memory, just the fact that the memories are there. Of that pizza, that ice cream. So those are words. You say the words. Krishnamurti taught us this. The words bring the memory. This woman is there's a beautiful woman in the ad, and she's distracting me. But that's my own personal inner mind. That's a bad thing about society with the body image problems. Now I'm in that older adult category where somehow I no longer care. I don't give an F what anyone thinks. I don't care about I'll just say it, I don't care about the size of my thingy. I can see through everyone and everything. I found another paid fake channel. Guys talking about Nietzsche. So I'm watching a lot of and listening to a lot of lectures of real professors. And then I find this guy. He's in like some metal group. And I'm thinking of maybe if I get back into it, I could download from him and just show, like, look at this nobody nothing who's scripted to come across as a genius. And all he's doing, travel on Oladipo. So the Celtics are ahead, 23-21, 2:30 left in the first. Only 2 turnovers for Boston, 3 for Miami. So a clean game. Horford, top of the key over to Jalen. Back to Horford. I guess play-by-play isn't as... Horford, Smart for 3. Swish. Now that time it was good that he shot it. The clock was running down. But when he turns himself into the primary shooter, it's ridiculous. So yeah, I found another paid fake, scripted. Just look for their eyes. You can tell if someone's reading. Just, if you have doubts, thinking like, who is this person? How do they know that? What are they talking about? Why are they talking about it? Horford. Offensive foul on Horford. The Celtics are up by 5, and it doesn't feel like they've even played that well. What I like about Boston is that they do have a sense of urgency. They're not playing sloppy. They don't look nervous. The Celtics look battle-tested from the last couple of years. Their younger players are probably too young to worry about it. I was going to say in and out, but he said it before me. Jaylen Brown doubled over to Grant. Grant for 3 at the a three-quarter line. Not at the top, not at the corner. So the C's are up by 8. Celtics are up by 8. Harrow from 3. Clank. So now Miami looks like they don't know how to score. Miami looks like a team full of Marcus Smarts. Just pitiful on offense. Williams, corner 3, rattles it home. The Celtics are on fire, but that one did rattle. A 16-point turnaround? Or how big? Oh, it was an 8-point lead. 11 and 8. 17-0 run. It was because I was talking. Maybe I need to talk. Jaylen Brown from like 50 feet and it swish. Not 50, but that was like 5 feet. He was 5 feet behind the 3-point line. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Horford rips the rebound. That's how I want the rebounds to be done. You're taller than them. You're bigger than them. Pass it out of the double faster. Grant Williams. That was pretty wild. The Celtics are up 35-24. Ime Udoka is so... He's like the Al Horford of coaching. He never gets rattled. He doesn't make it about himself. Wow. The women. The screen's freezing. I think if I just wait a bit, it'll work itself out. We can work it out. We can work it out. So, alright, maybe I can run through some stuff. I don't have attention deficit hyperactivity or disorder, ADHD disorder. I saw that ADHD, the symptoms of that are very similar to the symptoms. I'll let the AC go a little bit. So then I'll capture that noise and reduce it. ADHD means you can't focus. Someone with autism can't focus because of the sensory overload or perseveration. People with autism perseverate. So it's not just... That's what the sensory disorder is. From what I'm going through, I hear every sound. I hear every sound in its pitch and context and shape. This looks like a funny ad, but I'm trying to talk here and not be conditioned. We lose our ability to think in the moment with TV and ads. I know that because that's what I overcame from my childhood. We all went through that. A lot of us did. I'm not saying all of us were TV addicts. I did all my schoolwork and did very well at school and was still able to watch a lot of TV. I stopped watching a lot of TV. But I mean, as a kid, like I remember Saturday Night Live. TV, you can't read, and you didn't have to read all the time. And it wasn't always homework. So there's a lot of free time in life. And that's where they sucker us in. So I know I don't have ADHD because I am able to focus. I am able to do that. I think that's the main point where I know I don't have ADHD. And I know I don't have schizophrenia because I don't have voices and I don't have delusions. And I also know that I don't have the mood swing disorders. the bipolar or the borderline. I know I don't have narcissism. I know, what else is there? And is narcissism even a thing? Like sociopathy? I'm not a sociopath. I do know that I have certain things such as I'm very against the authorities. I have anxiety, things like that. The autism is an invisible condition unless one looks for it. I have autism. That was a coffee machine. Tatum switched it from 3. The Celtics are up by 14. This isn't even close right now. Maybe. So if the Celtics win this easily and there's no collapse, then I think this will show that Miami can't beat Boston in the 7 games. They do have the home court, so then Boston would want to win the 2 at home if they do win tonight, if they do win this. Harrow. Now, Harrow looks amazing as a scorer, but he doesn't look scary on defense. He's a little guy, pretty much. He is chasing down Payton Pritchard quite a bit. Jalen, a bad shot. I don't think Miami can go without. That looked like a travel. Williams, another block. I don't think Miami can go without getting into offensive ruts. Miami's built. I read a theory, or someone said it on one of those stupid talk shows, that Miami is built to be the last team standing. So Miami would be the fluke team if they win it all. So Harrow is an automatic 2. The lead's down to 10.
Overall, he has not shot the ball as well during the playoffs regular season.
Yeah, I have autism. Damn. Pritchard bricked a 3. Harrow with a miss. Yet again, the Celtics don't secure the rebound. Doesn't matter how great your defense is if you keep giving them more shots. It's like whoop-de-doo. You stop the team, but Harrow, another miss. So he's trying to play Harrow ball because Miami is not dynamic for offense, while the Celtics are dynamic. Great pass by Smart with 5 assists to Tatum underneath. The Celtics have strategy for offense. They remind me almost of the Larry Bird. They come at you in waves, and they run it, and they like to go for points after the other team's scoring. It's right there. Miami got it down to 10. It's back up to 14. Celtics have a lot of points so far, 42, with over 9 minutes left in the half. That's a foul, but not called. Let him play, all right. So this is pretty good. It doesn't look like there are any cheap artists out there so far. I don't like the cheap plays, the dirty plays. Just played out. P.J. Tucker coming back in. Deep 3 by Tatum, not close. He back-rummed it. There's a 3 by Miami, a miss. Smart with a dynamic rebound. Out to Grant Williams. They call a foul?
Whistle and a foul.
Okay. This guy Grant Williams gets battered.
Got that contact on a fast break block. Take it away, Mike.
Great play. Smart's playing great except for that early acting like a moron, shooting so much.
Your thoughts?
It was a dangerous play. You can't touch a guy when he's hanging on the rim.
I don't know.
Maybe it wasn't a foul on the actual play, but on the follow-up to the play, the guy's bumping right into him. He hit him in the top of the head. You're allowed to hit the guy in the top of the head, even if the ball... And he almost broke his back. He was in a vulnerable situation. That was a dirty play by Miami. I'm not saying it was intentional, although dirty play implies intentional. Just a stupid, careless, selfish, just an idiot. Maybe not dirty, but idiotic. PJ Tucker free to shoot from 10 feet and then he travels it. And the guy, Van Gundy's saying what I just said. Spo. Reminds me of Al Pacino somehow. I only know the older actors, so I gave up. Pritchard with plenty of time lines it up and nails it. Wow, the Celtics were up by 19. The Miami fans are just, even if Miami's winning, they're not that loud. The Celtic fans are good for like 5 points. The players love that. Showing Bird, Russell, McHale, Parrish, Havlicek. Who's that? Pierce in the end. This guy, he's from Austin, Texas. He said before the pandemic he was torn with a heavy metal band. And now he's like Mr. Genius talking about Nietzsche. He's pretty clever at hiding that he's reading off of a script. Some woman in this ad. Oh, is that the Buick Alexa ad? The mom's on Xanax, you can tell by the tardive dyskinesia. The kid's on Ritalin. Is that what they give him, Ritalin, for the ADHD? But what is ADHD? Is it just autism that portrays itself as an inability to focus? But I guess it isn't autism. But with autism, they speak of neurodiverse. You're either neurodiverse or neurotypical. There's no little bit pregnant. So what's ADHD? What's narcissism? I mean, what is it? It's conditioned behavior. It's a human being. It's a creature from the human species, which was somehow conditioned to be a debagger, a do-sh-e. Oh, what about that one? I did find out a bit of news. That Project Veritas, is that what they're called? The one with that guy, he was in that pimp outfit years ago when he became famous. He got in trouble for that. They go undercover. So they got the guy going undercover. One of them's saying Elon Musk is literally special needs. So don't listen to anyone with autism. That's basically what the guy said. Now, I don't listen to Elon Musk because it's fairly obvious he's a plant, and or he's conditioned, he's in cahoots, he's part of it. I don't care about what Elon Musk thinks. I've seen enough of Elon Musk to know that I don't care. But for some moron to talk about autism as literally special needs, and that you don't have to, why listen to anything they have to say, that's the kind of person that's the scum of the earth. Jason Tatum is, I see right through Jason Tatum. He's so full of it. He's such a shallow, conditioned, and it holds him back from being truly the best player. He could easily be the best player, but his ego, his narcissism gets in the way. A guy like Grant Williams, if Jason Tatum was as smart a player as Grant Williams, he'd be MVP every year. Tatum stripped and turnover. Butler hammered by Pritchard. So the lead's 17. That's a very safe lead. So if there's neurodiverse and neurotypical, that makes sense. Autism, you can't be a little bit autistic. You're either autistic or you're not. It can be invisible. There are some people with autism, you don't know they have that, and especially with women. It's harder to identify women with autism. I can do it because I got into it. Missed free throw by Butler. Rolled around and then out. I'm not going to edit this too much at all. I don't think I've been coughing or anything too bad. I do want to try to minimize the air conditioner. I get distracted by women in the audience. Even though I'm in love with someone else, I wouldn't cheat on the person I'm with. But Williams would have played. Then he falls down with the foul. I'm always afraid these guys are going to hurt their backs or something. He slammed into the ground, but he gets up. He's a little ginger, trying to... They only get one day off in between games now. Wow, that guy... Alright, he was sort of able to break his fall a little bit, but he could have hurt his hand breaking the fall. I think I know how... I remember an exact play. The last game he played before the injury for Rob Williams. And I remember he slammed down for dunking it. He didn't even try to hang on to the rim. And I think that's what caused his injury, but he's not going to admit to that. No one's going to admit to being stupid like that. You have to hang on to the rim or else you're going to ruin your knees. Another rebound. But it's only 2 points, and it's still a 17-point lead. Miami doesn't have the firepower. So now Miami needs a 40-point quarter or something. They need to clamp down on Boston. They're down 17. That's not easy to... They're not LeBron. A younger LeBron. Wow, Pritchard, a talented play. He dribbled right into the paint and somehow got a shot off. He's really good. Is he a rookie? Do I forget him from last year? Pritchard out to Tatum. Great. So Miami makes a little bit of a run, and now it's a 21-point lead. 5.5 left in the quarter and a half.
Drew strides, deflected by Williams. Pritchard trying to save it, but can't. 5 to shoot for Miami.
This guy Pritchard's is like the wild card for Boston winning a title. Guys like him. Pritchard, Grant Williams was a wild card against the Bucks. Grant Williams, I think, won them 2 games in that one. Or it might have been, I forget. I know of 2 games. Horford fighting. The Celtics are a team. They go for team rebounds. They go for team assists. Now, they weren't doing that at the beginning of the year. It switched. It switched where they started to play more like a team, more like of a traditional team, and the wins started to pile up. The selfish players were traded. At least Schroeder was traded because he's selfish. It's good to have Smart back in. I was getting a little bitter at the beginning. Smart for 3. Ugh. Al Horford. Horford didn't play much last year for Oklahoma. And then he had a couple days off of that COVID protocol thing. They got Rob Williams back. I don't think Miami can beat a team as good as Boston. As Brown just knocks it in, the Celtics would have to be jinxed to not win against Miami. They're just the obvious better team. Good play by Miami. Lead down to 19. 6 assists is huge. They can't beat Boston. I'm going to say it right now. The lead is 23. Stupid announcer can't keep up with the program. I'm always saying I'm always faster than them because I'm not a conditioned numb nut. You can say numb and you can say nut, but maybe you're not allowed to say numb nut without the spacing. So you can call someone a do, sh, e. You get away with it. Vincent rattles home a tough 2 for Miami to cut it back to 22. Celtics have 59 points with 3.5 minutes. Tatum with a 3, and it's swish. They're not even. This is weird. It's weird how easy this is for Boston. Vincent. Al Horford hugging the guy. That's kind of funny when the ball is loose on the floor. They all go piling on. Tatum with the automatic 3 without hitting any rim. Tatum should be the best player in the league. But he learned from Kobe Bryant, so he learned how to be selfish. Tatum on the other hand, learned from Brad Stevens how to be a team player. The delay in Tatum is going to Duke and being a Freemason and all that stuff is why Tatum is being delayed.
Tatum fakes, sidestep. Foul's going to be called on Vincent. That's going to be his first.
Horford, if Horford had the natural, if Horford was a little better at shooting, like Kevin Garnett could never shoot like a Tatum. So Tatum has things down that most people, looks like he sprained his ankle. Well, oh, hopefully Tatum's all right.
21 points first half of game one. Despite his heroics, he was only.
That's my take on Tatum. Like, Jaylen Brown is getting better. Jaylen Brown's really good, but he's not tall like Tatum. So he doesn't have the natural ability to protect the paint. Tatum got a little stronger, and he's as tall. He might be as tall as Horford. I would like to see Horford and Tatum go back to back. Horford's very good, but because he's tall, lanky-ish, he's not as athletic with his shooting. Al used to be very cringeworthy, awkward on layups. He got better at that, I think, the last few years. For shooting outside, Horford does best when he has a little bit of time, when he doesn't have to rush it. Tatum and Brown have that edge over Horford. Jaylen Brown is remarkable. They're different players. You can't really judge. The reason why Tatum is always valued much more than Jaylen Brown is because of the height, because of the position. Tatum could almost play small ball center. Jaylen Brown can't play any center ever. Tatum could probably play shooting guard. And Tatum's playing point forward. So Tatum's playing point guard. Jaylen Brown is playing point guard here and there. Brown, I'll give Brown credit for getting a lot better with his so-called handle. Oh, here's another ad where they're showing the food. Oh, I almost forgot. I need to take my heart pill. I have to have my dinner. I'm doing really well lately for exercise, and I'm eating about twice a day. I've got the routines going. I don't think people with ADHD are into routines, are they? I don't have ADHD. I can focus, so that's out. I figured it out. I have autism. I proved the autism through the special interests, by having special interests before being aware of autism. This makes sense. Someone told me this. One can hear something of a condition and then fit themselves into that. So they'll hear about such and such, and then they'll crunch it into their own diagnosis. So I've been aware of that type of thing even before being told to not do that. I looked at everything, especially I gotta look at something like ADHD because it is similar to autism for how it looks. And I had to look into the behavior disorders, the mood disorders. Autism would also be a behavior disorder at times. Not necessarily, of course, but Aspies, people with autism tend to get frustrated. I guess my thing was I would get frustrated and then angry. So now I'm learning how to control my breathing. I've learned a lot the last couple years in how to channel the anger, channel the repetition. So I channeled the repetition into my stamp collection, which is an amazing thing. It's not narcissism if it's the truth. So when I say a perfect pitch, it's not narcissism because it's true. When I spoke of my greatness, it wasn't narcissism because I was trying to be funny. Tatum turns it over. Tatum is not the best player in the league if he's making all those turnovers.
Regular season average 10 points a game. Second behind Jaren Jackson Jr. Blocks per game. Hero tied up. Good double team.
Horford. Miami has a good defense, but so does Boston. I think the difference is Boston has the better offense. Is Jimmy Butler going to give you 40 points every time? No. Smart. That's the kind of three I don't like to see out of Smart. Before the shot, they're in the penalty. It's a 25-point lead.
Discuss what's going on here in the first couple of quarters of game 2. Mike Greenberg, Stephen A. Michael Wilbon, Jamie Rose.
Sort of not seeing the point in continuing this live stream. It seems fairly over. 65-39. The coffee machine just made a tempered sound from the glass, the heat of it. The chair creaks. So I'm in the moment. I guess I'm using the autism to stay in the moment. I get distracted through the stimulus, through the sensory overload, while I think the ADHD is an overall condition of distraction. Not enjoying doing things in a repetitive way. The Aspies love routine. I never get bored of stamps somehow. I get frustrated if I feel like I got ripped off. But otherwise, it's a very satisfying. I clean up the stamps. I make sure they're healthy. I don't collect flawed stamps if I can help it. I'm not going to discuss stamps right now. Tatum directing traffic. The lead's 26. Wow. Tatum into Smart. Smart again is he's miserable on offense sometimes. Most of the time he's sort of miserable at shooting. He needs to know his limitations, and then he'll get better stats. He'll be more efficient because he won't be trying to do it all on his own. Good job by the Heat. Tatum got smacked in the head. Tatum's a baby. He tends to... I mean, if he got smacked in the head, I'm not calling him a baby for that, but he just never stops whining about the refs.
Butler 13 points.
23.
Player in double figures here in the first half. And he's just trying to slice some points off what was a 29-point Celtics.
This is the opposite of game one, but with a more dominating counterpunch by Boston.
Brown looking, finds Smart.
Celtics were undermanned. It looked ridiculous. Smart under pressure is more clutch. He 1 in 10. I wasn't just saying it. 1 in 10. One of 10. Tatum got smacked. Game one was bitter because it looked like Horford had COVID and Smart was done. Derek White isn't playing, but that might be good. He was so bad in that last game. Derek White is a new player. He's still learning the teammates. Now, Derek White's a good player, and he'll be on the Celtics for years to come, I imagine. I don't think he's going anywhere. They could technically trade him, but he sort of fits as the perfect backup to Marcus Smart. They're the same player just about, in many ways. Not the same. Yeah, it's pretty much the same overall player. I think Brad Stevens must be a genius. He just knew the little bit of tinkering that need to be done. It's the same thing with the Red Sox. Who's that guy? I forget. Dan Duquette. They had a GM of the Red Sox was similar to Danny Ainge. Made a lot of clever trades, this or that, but he would always sabotage it some way. And then, who's that young guy, the kid, Theo Epstein, I remembered his name. He came in, tinkered a little bit, and they ended the jinx. So Duquette pretty much built most of the team. Epstein shows up, tinkers a little bit around the corners, touches it up, and they finally beat down the curse of the Bambino. Celtics look on the cusp, but they had a nut job. Kyrie Irving, Gordon Hayward had that horrific injury. Isaiah Thomas was good. He gets injured and done. But then Brad Stevens is given the GM job. No one thought, I didn't see anyone saying that would work. I felt give it some time. The guy's a genius. He didn't have to go into basketball. And Brad Stevens made those great trades for chemistry. I'm not going to go into the specifics of it because knowledgeable basketball fans will understand how that trade wasn't just the trade, the difference in the players. It changed the atmosphere. It slotted all the players into the proper roles. There's no more duplication. There was no more question marks like Schroeder playing for his next contract, and the guy couldn't make any assists, and he was a totally selfish player. Dennis Schroeder was such a disappointment. He's the what's the proverbial cancer to a team. Players that ruin the lot, like Kyrie Irving is a cancer to teams. Kyrie Irving destroys teams. Brooklyn is now destroyed. They're done. Durant is only going to get older. Durant is overrated. Now, as Durant gets older, his number one talent of shooting is going to get more difficult. Tired legs make it more difficult to shoot. So Durant is not getting better, he's getting worse. LeBron is not getting better, he's towards the end. Tatum is on the road to being the best player in the league. He's being delayed in that due to bad habits learned through Freemasonry and Kobe Bryant, crap like that. Who's this guy, Stephen A. Smith? Did he play or anything? I get the feeling that Stephen A. Smith is a plant of some. He's grimacing a lot. Puffy cheeks. Gonna look at his jaw a little bit. Stephen A. Smith might like the Diet Coca-Cola. Wilbon, an older man, he looks more like a booze drinker, but he looks healthy. His face looked healthy so far. I would need to look at them longer. People with tardive dyskinesia can control it at times for a little bit of time. It always comes back though. And for some, like the Fiorella Isabel, it's getting worse. That guy Craig Jardula, they're deteriorating in real time. I forgot to stare at Wilbon. Jalen Rose, he smiles a lot. He might be on some type of drugs. I don't think Al Horford does drugs. Yeah, I don't see anyone in the Celtics with tweaked out faces. Greenberg holding, is that his name? Mike Greenberg? He's holding his eyebrows up in a Stephen A. Smith is grimacing. Wilbon. Jalen Rose keeping his eyebrows up high. Someone mentioned Adderall in a comment, like, why does it have to be cocaine? Could it be Adderall? I don't know much about Adderall. Maybe that's true. That sounds true. The Adderall could do certain things to the face. I'm pretty sure Adderall is another intoxicant. Maybe I shouldn't say anything. Yeah, Wilbon's the only one in that who looks normal. Everyone else seems to be struggling with their faces on that panel. Jalen Rose, Wilbon. Tatum's another Durant. Durant's not an all-time great. He probably could have been. He needed to bulk up a little bit. He needed to be more like a center. Durant was a cupcake. Kyrie Irving never improved. He never got better. He's the same schmuck that got... Oops. Schmuck's an okay word, I guess. I almost said there's another word that you can't say. It's like the M word for Yiddish. I had to double track up a little bit. So, alright, schmuck is the male thingy, I think. Hot chicks again, the ads. Black and white, ebony and ivory. They're really pushing that.
It makes it easy to personalize your job search and even helps the right job find you.
An Asian. Yet they're not doing anything about the wars, the corporations, the injustice. It's all about feelings.
Go for it. Want to turn your trips into rewards points faster? Be our guest. Well, plus up your trip. Now you can.
I have no respect for most people. Yikes. I have no respect for most people. Is that true? Do I really think that? I have no respect.
The moment you become an Expedia member, you can instantly start saving.
Well, I can't, I need to not.
So you can go and see it.
Most people is not everyone. So I think it's okay to have that sort of conclusion as long as it doesn't influence interactions with anyone. So even if this is probably a key to my self-healing, I do believe that most people suck. Sad but true. But one must hold that judgment. You can't assume that. I can't assume. I shouldn't assume that with anyone. And even if I notice that someone sucks, this is the big point. Even if I notice someone sucks, even if they annoy me, even if they get into my ear, I'm just trying to go about my life, the key is to not react. The key is to not cause any conflict.
Jalen, tonight's Going Places is brought to you by Toyota. Marcus Smart back and better than ever for the Celtics. Defensive player of the year back. You hold the Heat to 40%.
7 assists, 0 turnovers for Marcus Smart. That's perfect. But why is he taking 11 shots? So Marcus Smart is dominating the ball movement. That's fine, but I don't like how he's shooting so much. He should have passed it more. Maybe he'd have 10 assists. He took 11, 12 shots. All right, I have to go check for coffee right over there. I don't want to waste time editing this thing. I'm walking over.
25,000-mile maintenance plan and roadside assistance. That's the value you can expect from Toyota.
Your summer starts here.
Toyota, let's go places. Pepper, oh no, they didn't. Papa John just took their signature pepperoni and hand stuffed it inside that.
I had forgotten that the coffee machine turned itself off. So I turned it back on. I need to X out of the big screen. Wow, Snoop Dogg went bald. I don't respect Snoop Dogg. I don't respect Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson said, they wouldn't say that to someone's face. If they said that to someone's face, I'll say it to Tyson's face. Maybe I won't. It does that click, the coffee click, both when it turns on and when it turns off. So I gotta let that thing warm up a bit. It's already 10. I'm gonna hold off on the usual routine of the heart pill and the cholesterol pill for about a half hour. Sorry for any little sounds. I hear everything. There's a little condensation underneath the coffee pot, so it's like. I liked what I did in when I did the Pink Floyd songs. I mimicked instrumental or the weird. I guess I shouldn't. That might be narcissism or idiocy, bringing up stuff like this. That the world's centered around me. It's the sounds from the coffee machine that are distracting me. And then I guess I got nervous and I started talking about singing Pink Floyd. I'm not pushed to produce anymore for internet. I feel like I produce so much. And now I need to realize that I don't have to do anything. I don't have to become anything. I need to be grateful that I'm not conditioned, that I can see through the ads, that I can see through even the basketball game, I can see through the announcers, I can see through the analysts, but we can't let existential awareness create conflict. We have the right to hate people, we have the right to judge, to have ideas and thoughts about people. That coffee machine won't shut up. And then the AC kicked on again. There's so much going on. It's definitely sensory overload. But there's no one out there. The society, no one cares. Maybe some people care, but it's limited. The people who care about invisible autism. I'm getting annoyed from the sounds of the coffee machine. Just won't stop. I'm like, why won't you? See, I'm getting angry. So I'm going to grab a paper towel or something and clean that off. Sounds really mess with my head. Why is that guy talking like that? Spectacular three. I hate that guy. But I have to keep it on, or else this live stream makes no sense. I have to smoke some weed or I'm going to go nuts. Only 4 turnovers for Boston with 16 assists. Alright, here we go. Jaylen Brown at the point guard. Early whistle. What? What happened? The seats look empty. How can the seats be empty in a playoff game? So are all those people getting food and going to the bathroom and they're not back in time? What kind of fans are that? They must be rich. There's hardly anyone in the stands. It makes no sense. Sorry, I'm screaming. People rolling in. Bunch of idiots. Did they leave? So there's no home court advantage for Miami. This is outrageous. I mean, I'm looking at all these empty seats. And then I see a lot of Boston fans. What a joke if the Miami fans left. How many? Did they leave? I see them rolling in. Rich, fancy people, too. You can tell they're rich, fancy people. Smart. Oh, he traveled. Marcus Smart looking like a moron on offense again.
Smart has had one heck of a game. A guy is 2 for 12 from the field for. Vincent Boy off, and Tatum the rebound. Let's check in with Lisa's office.
Sloppy, idiotic play by Tatum.
Response, and he said it was going to be up to the Heat to then respond in turn. So far, they have not. Miami assistant Chris Brown said for a team that prides itself on defense, giving up 70 points in the first half is not what this team is about. He said it started in that first quarter behind the 3-point line. He said it's going to require much more effort in the second half to make Boston more uncomfortable, to push them off the three. As for how to attack this deficit, Quinn said, we got to just start by competing. Number one, just compete. And then chip away, see where that gets us. Right?
All right, Lisa, I would term the response not necessarily urgent, maniacal, the way they came out at both ends of the floor.
Miami looks shook.
All season long during the regular season after that poor start to the season, under 500 January 10th in the East. Nobody was better down the stretch of the regular season. They had to come back against the Milwaukee Bucks. They lost game 1 at home. They were down 3-2 in the series.
I know what I could do.
And talent. Their top 8 with their size.
Nah, I had an idea. I won't do it. Sorry.
Athleticism. They've got them all. They are hard to score on. And guarded by PJ Tucker. Lots across the round. Brown likes his matchup. Turner shoots not that time.
This game feels mechanical. It seems over. There are still empty seats in the stands. How can there be empty seats?
In the early part of this game, Celtics fell behind by 10. Jason Tatum picked up 2 quick fouls, went to the bench.
This is so boring.
Spruce to Tucker. Tucker to Vincent. Vincent tied up. Shot clock winding down. Tucker makes his move. Little floater. Shot short. Butler the rebound. Back up. Robert Williams is going to pick up his second foul. Shot to the face. And already early in this third quarter, we've seen Jimmy Butler get to the free throw line. A team that's struggling to score, you don't want to commit fouls and send them to the line. You got to be smart and trust your outstanding defense. Butler hits the first. AT&T giving 5 Gs.
They don't have to do anything unless they choke. The Celtics, I mean. Each dunk counts for 2 points. Something about dunks. You guys can't see that. Some info. The lead's 24. Yeah, there's people in Celtic jerseys and then empty seats. I think all the Miami fans wear white. There's so many people wearing white t-shirts. Smart with a... Well, yeah, Smart's going to take 20, 30 shots. A few of them will go in.
So far in this game, he's now 3 for 13.
3 for 13. He shot that at an angle behind. He was behind the rim, the backboard, right? Van Gundy got the word. That's a acrobatic. Larry Bird can do that. Shoot it over the backboard from behind it. Here's that Vincent guy. The lead's 27.
Blocked by Williams, his third rejection. Tatum saves it, finds Horford. You're going to have a tough time shooting a jump shot over Robert Williams. Horford on the entry pass for
Horford just bully ball. Horford looking like Giannis without dunking it, but they threw it down low to Horford, and then he just waited for the things to clear a little bit, and 2 guys on him, he still got the easy 2, a layup, because he's taller. Dejected Miami fans in the crowd. The cocaine will cheer them up. Is that what they're into in Miami? Ugh. 26 points. That's embarrassing for that fan base to have empty seats. Uh-oh, the lead's down to 24. Uh-oh. Smart again, why not? Swish. Just keep letting Smart shoot. Let him get 100 points. Not 100. Smart will get 30 points on 30 shots. Stale by Tatum. And just like that, Smart. Smart's acting as if he's LeBron James. He's got the ball every minute, second. This is weird. He's acting like Rondo, but shooting too. I'm sensing some extended garbage time. 27 is the difference. Smart again. Why is Smart taking all these shots? Okay, finally I'm gonna. Oh, there's Brad Stevens munching on nuts. Brad Stevens. The modern day Theo Epstein. Wow, Smart's covering the center. Adebayo? I don't know his name exactly, or do I? Adebayo? Bam? Tatum. Smart again with the ball. Just shoot it, Marcus. You know you want it. Ugh, bad shot by Jalen. Quick timeout by Boston to stop the damage at 23. The lead's cut to 23. Does he even listen to himself? The lead's been cut to 23. What a game. The Celtics should stop giving away easy deuces that cut the lead to 23.
The official fan phone of the NBA.
What kind of moron pays money to watch movies? Go F yourself, Disney. Another stupid ad for a movie. Marvel. On digital. How about go F yourselves? YouTube TV. I'm not watching YouTube TV right now. The greatness of YouTube, though. I mentioned the greatness of YouTube because this is going to be on YouTube. If I start saying F you, YouTube, they're going to not like me. They're my handler. YouTube is my handler. Oh, I could go for some of that food on the TV.
Download the app. Enjoy the rewards program today.
Rapid rehydration, OG. For those who love peanut butter.
God, that peanut butter greases, they're really shoving it in our faces.
I now pronounce you weird.
You know, pronounce you weird. More food. Damn, it's all food.
This is so weird. I just drank this. Drank what?
She's pouring sauce.
That is weird.
No one does that on their bed.
You ended up eating all your cinnamon delights because you drank me. Oh.
She's not eating. She's eating crumbly crap in bed, not with a tray eating over the tray. Guess you had to be there. Cops in watching the video here for the movie. Jared Leto. Is that? They already showed that, didn't they? They've shown the same ads over and over. That's not offensive. That's not brainwashing attempts. NBA. Basketball is a nice sport. Too bad the refereeing is so bad. Who knows how rigged it is? Do they rig it? They definitely rig it. Do they just rig it to get extra games? Or do they actually... They did rig it. I don't think they're rigging it to the extent of wrestling. They are rigging it, though, in that they're not fixing the ref problems. You could have some guy... You could have refs watching the videos, and with the communication stuff, with the modern day technology, you could easily make nearly every call correctly. There's going to be some subjective calls, but not that many. So you could have... You could have these refs on the court with earpieces, and for anything that they don't see, Smart with a great play, another steal. It was a good try by Smart. Smart could be having the perfect game if it wasn't for all that bad shooting.
Meanwhile, in the playoffs, he's averaging 14.7 and a half rebounds a game.
Miami can't compete with Boston. That's my conclusion. If the Celtics... I'll be very surprised if the Celtics don't come back to Miami up 3-1. So I'm predicting the obvious prediction that this is a win. And now I'm going to predict 2 straight wins in Boston. For Boston. The lead is down to 23. Butler is pretty good. Offensive goaltending on Adebayo. That hurts because it looked good. No, it was still over the rim. That looked good. They're trying to hype this as if it's still a game. It would have helped for them to get that. Smart again. Airball. This is where Miami could possibly make a run. But it's just encouraging the Celtics to play harder defense. Ooh. There you go. It's down at 20. There is the proverbial plenty of time. Smart wanting to shoot again. Great. Tatum ends up on the ground, but no call. So did Tatum flop, or was he fouled? What? But they're not showing it. They're showing the 3-point play that we already saw. And they're showing it again. The 3-point shot by Miami, by Vincent. Yet they're not showing Tatum falling down on a 3-point attempt. So that's where one may think this is rigged. So if Miami's able to come back, it might be because the refs want it to appear closer than it is.
Foul on the pass. It's going to be the 14th foul.
Tatum has really made a good adjustment today. Just getting rid of the ball.
Like, it's okay for Boston to win by 20, but don't let Boston win by 50 or 40. There's a woman in the crowd. She put on a cover herself up. Wow. She had to be there. There's still a bunch of empty seats. That's embarrassing. Sorry if I cough and don't edit it out. Right, so Miami's making their push.
And a 29-point lead has been cut to 18.
Drive to score.
I'm going to get myself a Ricola so I don't keep coughing.
If they bring a second defender, but they're trying to guard him one-on-one. Great job of using your body to blow by Brown and the strength to finish through contact.
Oh yeah, that coffee reheated up on itself.
Butler had 13 points in the first half. He's got 13 points already here in the third quarter. If you're the Celtics defense, so you got to make the adjustment, understanding that he has to put on the gas pedal, looking to score on attack.
I think I could mimic that guy, Mark Jackson.
First time that Heat have shown a little 2-2-1
and Van Gundy, but I won't. Pritchard in the game.
In the third quarter, that's been the best quarter throughout this entire playoffs for the Heat. They have been dominant in the third period. Tatum gets it back, and Tatum is fouled. That's a great job. The Heat went to a zone, taking the Celtics out of the high screen and roll with Tatum. He got rid of the basketball. You talked about it, Coach. On the secondary move, diving, slicing to the cup, creating that contact.
Tatum banged up. Hip pointer.
Here's what I'm talking about. He's looking at his zone. There's help right there. Even if you run a screen and roll, but instead, he goes to screen and roll, gets rid of the basketball.
He got hip checked. He got checked in his hip. One of those hockey. One of those hockey plays.
Hey, Michael, as we saw a few moments ago, PJ Tucker went back to the
Ricola's the best.
He's being evaluated for a left knee contusion. He will not return.
Who? PJ Tucker.
He's dealing with a calf issue. He is one of the most durable players in the league over the past 10 years. Takes a lot for him not to be able to get out on the floor. Smart now on
Might have predicted that earlier on, saying he looked banged up or something.
Jimmy Butler has come alive. Similar to what they did in Game 1, trying to get Pritchard on a switch and pick a roll and attack them. Give the Celtics. There's no reason.
17 is not that good a lead.
Smart to Tatum. Tatum to Pritchard. Corner three. Won't go. Rebound out of Bio.
Uh-oh.
Butler against Smart. Inside pass out of Bio. Stripped down low and knocked away. Great hands by Marcus Smart.
Marcus Smart is so involved. He did. He shaked and baked and ended up with a free throw type shot.
Turned out around 15 points, 8 assists. And Eric Spoelstra wants timeout.
Marcus Smart wants to relive his college days when he was the
Hits the deck and Smart with the deuce. My goodness.
Marcus Smart and Al Horford are pure basketball players. Horford's much better, though, I think, than Smart overall. Smart needs to get better on offense. He has potential to be as good or better than Horford for the legacy. But I'd say if Smart doesn't figure out offense better more than he is, maybe Marcus Smart can turn it around. I don't know, but I think he has low. You can't really say it's low basketball IQ though, because he's schizophrenic, or he's bipolar. He's actually borderline personality, I think, in real life, but he's like bipolar on offense. He's one or the other. He's up or down. I can't believe all this food they're putting on the TV. There's that guy again on the luge in his mansion home. The decadence of it all.
There are all kinds of products in this world. Things that make life easier or more fun. But New York Life's product is different. It's 12,000 experts whose responsibility is to be there, to guide you through the happiest and most difficult times.
This is where the conformity is taught through all these moments piled up on top of each other from advertisements. Watching all these strangers.
Straighten your teeth while you sleep with Smile Direct Club Nighttime Aligners.
Put them in when you go to bed. You don't have to wear them all day. They won't interfere with your daily lifestyle at all.
This is most stuff is so idiotic and shallow, yet it's taking up
Choose easy. Choose
our
Smile.
lives.
Get started for free at SmileDirectClub.com.
At Finger Hut, we don't define you by your credit score. We celebrate you being you.
We all waste time. We got tons of time. I'm not saying I haven't wasted tons of time like anyone else.
If you're looking for electronics, kitchen essentials, clothes, toys, and
Look at it this way. You got video games. There's nothing to show for it. I felt exposing Brett Kimberlin, exposing this fake racket on the internet, I thought it meant something. So even though I was technically wasting time, I try to share something. I try to share some wisdom. It's not narcissism if it's true. These guys take a beating in playoff games.
This half, with the Tucker injury, may get more opportunities.
Oh, that's a flagrant. The guy. That should be why did the refs allow that? He just closed. His arm went into his neck. That should be a flagrant. The neck is part of the head, isn't it? If I was ever good enough to be playing that, some guy was doing that to me, I'd elbow him in the face. Say, who the fuck, you dirty fuck. I'd start punching that dirty crap. That's violence. You knocking your arm into the guy's neck while he's going up to the rim in the air. Arrow for three. He missed. I expect a guy like that to hit it. He got another chance and missed. It almost went in with a softer touch. So the lead's 21. Miami kind of wanted to get it down to 10. Smart from 3, making me look like a fool because I've been so bitter towards him for taking so many shots. Marcus Smart, the proverbial no, yes guy. But usually it's no. Right, so it's back up to 24. So, like, nothing. Miami can't sustain the offense. Boston is more explosive for offense. I don't think I've seen Tice at all this game. Daniel Tice, the German. So is that a coach's decision? Do not play, or did I miss him playing in the first half? Where is he in the bench? Seems to be at the back of the bench. Why is Tice at the back of the bench? Is he injured?
It's a challenge, and the key is play better. Make your coach.
Tice is like a non-factor. Why don't they give Tice some minutes?
Something out once again as they go forward.
He's not a good shooter. He's a great shooter. He's missed his first few as Butler pushes off.
Butler with the push-off. What the announcer said to try to get a rebound. It's 25. 18 seconds left in the third. I don't see how Miami's going to steal a game in Boston. If this game had been at the Boston Garden, the crowd would be going nuts. In Miami, they got people leaving early. Just people who look like fair weather fans. They make like not much noise. They probably don't even want to be there. It's nicer weather in Florida and going places. They make the California fans Californian. They make the fans from California look like diehard fans. The heck was Oladipo? I just get the feeling from Miami that they're a Marcus Smart style team for offense. They've got maybe Jimmy Butler as a layup, as a machine for points. He can muscle in points, Jimmy Butler guy. But other than him, they get nothing. Harrow should be giving them 30 points a game, but he doesn't. I thought he'd be like a machine. Neesmith into the game, the rookie. Oh, he was already in the game. I'm missing a good game. I'd like to wrap this up and stop doing this live stream. But I feel obligated. 25. You could hear a pin drop in Miami Stadium.
Doesn't have a turnover. Celtics up big as he heads to the floor.
Marcus Smart. His usage, is that the phrase? Like how often they're involved? He was involved in every chair creaking. He's involved in everything. I don't think I'm going to be able to edit out. I know I coughed a little earlier. Hope that doesn't sound too bad. I think I spoke enough philosophy to make this worthwhile. I covered the game for anyone who's a fan of the playoffs, NBA. And I had earlier, but then even I couldn't follow through on it. I put together some music. Myself singing. I guess I could do that.
Check it out. So wait, everybody gets the same great deal.
I think that's the point.
iPhone 13 on us for every customer.
Alright, what I'm gonna do is,
On any unlimited plan.
there's probably a half hour left to the game.
More people rely on.
I put them on mute. I'm gonna do the play-by-play. Got that coffee. Must be, that'll wake me up. I'm gonna put on myself singing in the background. This was the idea I had earlier, but I backed out of it. Alright, I'll go for this. It's gonna, or maybe I'm wondering if I should upload this thing. I'm gonna hopefully set the volume will sound okay on this. This proves I have perfect pitch. I don't want it on too loud. So I was going to do this earlier, but I thought that's me.
It's just a silly phase I've gone through. Just because I called you up, don't get me wrong, don't think you've got it made. Not in love, no, no.
Still ads right now.
I like to see you, but then again, it doesn't.
I've got the names of the songs.
So if I call you, don't make a fuss. Don't tell your friends about the two of us. I'm not in love, no, no. It's because
It's 10cc. I'm not in love.
Coffee.
Miami guy hit a shot.
I keep your picture on the wall. That's a nasty stain that's lying there.
Marcus Smart, top of the key to Brown, dribbles in, penetrates, and lays it in.
Give it back.
25-point lead for Boston.
It's because you waited a long time for me.
Play-by-play. Brown. Guy tried to get a charge, but Jaylen Brown went right around him. Harrow. Is that Harrow? Oh, it's a different white guy. Al Horford. This is like his last chance. Probably his last chance to win a title as the lead player. Last couple of years for Al Horford. Maybe he can start next year too. Steal by Miami. Still down 25 though. They showed Pat Riley. He didn't look too bitter. But he looked a little melancholy. Smart. Pushing the ball up. Celtics still with their starters in. With Pritchard and Grant Williams. Pritchard, Grant Williams, Smart, Brown, and Horford. Tatum taking a breather. The lead's 27. 10 minutes left. That's Harrow. He misses. He's not shooting too well tonight from the eye test. Brown dribbling around. Smart into Horford. Miami looks so little compared to the Milwaukee Bucks. Smart for three. Swish. Career. Oh, he's going nuts too. Screaming or something. This is Jim Sullivan. The song's called Whistle Stop.
Thunder and lightning in my eyes. And when the train began to move, then she waved goodbye to me. And for a while, all the air seemed quite foggy to me. Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah, I can hit any note.
It's dun, 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 dun. We had spoken in our way.
You know how you know where you're driving? You're not even thinking of where the streets are. It's just the way it is. Well, for me, it's the same with music, with singing. I don't need directions. I don't have to get used to it. I don't have to learn it. Those are notes.
Is it just a lifetime?
I was surprised I could sing. In theory, I thought maybe I could. But I didn't think it would turn out so perfect.
And can she hear what I am thinking? And maybe if she remembers what I said about a high-flying Dutchman. Do you know the feeling? Can love someone?
I can recognize the perfect pitch. And that's good enough for me. It proved it to me that I have autism. There's a lot of gaslighting in this life. With perseverance, though, anyone can improve and solve the reality of it. The reality of your individual existentialism. Existential. I can't get that word. Dionne Warwick. Do you know the way to San Jose?
Turn into years of forgiveness, and all the stars never work. A few times you can really breathe and say they got a lot of space there.
The lead's 30 for the start of the third. That's outrageous.
Turn into dust and blow away, and there you are, without a friend. You park your car, you hide away. After I've got lots of friends in San Jose. Do you know the way to San Jose? Weeks turn into years, how quick they pass, and all the stars that never were.
It wasn't the start of the fourth. Did I say that? I think they had bad info on the screen. Under 9 minutes. It's 28 points. know what? I'm gonna get the. I'll just do one last. I'll find St. Thomas. That's probably better than this. Okay. Clickety click. Okay, St. Thomas. Here we go. Put that on pause. Okay, here it is. It's hard to find the start of it. Here it is. Okay, here it is. This basketball game is over. That's as loud as I can get it. Smart again. Smart just hit another three. It's bizarre. Three-point, swish, Jaylen Brown, 32-point game, 6:40 left. When are they going to go to the garbage time? Tyson the game. Smart, another 3. Come on, Miami needs to empty the bench. Both teams need to empty the bench. Okay, Smarts. Yup. Miami finally caving in. That must be it. I think I nailed a lot of it for this Jazz. I would listen to it over and over again, so it's humming in my ear. Then I try to sing. I sing while I'm listening to it. So I'm like I'm transposing, or I'm translating. I'm hearing them, but that's the bass. And that's Sonny Rollins playing more quiet on sax. I'll turn off the AC. It's late enough into the day. Let me see how much is left on this tune. 5:45, and that'll end this video. garbage time. Down to a minute 45 on that tune. 119 Boston. Miami just hit 91. 119 to 91. 28 points. 3.5 minutes to go in the game. Tice with a dunk. Okay, that'll do it. Finishing up some coffee. Again, apologies for any coughing or anything in there. Big finish. I love jazz.